Welcome back to Sema na Spox. Bonga na Gava. Sema na Gava. Mumepatikana jiji. So we are coming back to you. Remember last week where we stopped? A lot of history, very important, because you cannot do these things to understand, the reparation and Uyano without looking at the context. Where are we coming from? Because sometimes people would think, are we just queuing to give people money? No. There's a contextual history where we are, because if you don't know about your history, then you don't know where you are going. So today we continue again with this conversation, and so we go back to our panel member Suba Churchill, very famous in the civil society circles and human rights activism. You had taken us to the act that prepared us for the bombers process. Maybe you can take it from there.
Yeah, so fast forward from 97 when we had the Constitution of Kenya Review Commission Act, and of course the year's elections that the opposition lost because they were hopelessly divided against at an entrenched KANU establishment that was still able to galvanize certain ethnic minorities and cobble them into a victory, a minority government, so to speak. Then the push continued. Post 97, we could not agree, even as the law had established that would embark on the comprehensive review of the constitution, and so the push continued, the agitation. You remember the Sabasaba, the Sabasaba, Nane and all that, yeah. Tisa, yeah. And many of those agitations that followed in 98. 99, 2000, and then in 2002, we convened at Bomas initially
as citizens,
as the conference.
Okay, who called the conference? Is it the president or yourself?
The conference had been established through the Constitution of Kenya Review Commission.
Okay.
Remember, the Yashpaligai Commission had gone around from 97, collecting views from the public, had developed a draft between 98 and 99, all the way to 2000. And then Moi became reluctant, to get the conference convened to facilitate and provide resources for it. And so when, towards the election, because Kenya has this history of agitating for reforms towards another election. And so Moi reluctantly convened us. We convened at Bomas as had been provided for. I went in as a youth representative on the ticket of the National Council of NGOs as a delegate number 463.
Okay.
I remember, interacting with the prof here, also as a delegate, at the Bomas Constitutional Conference. But that did not happen. Before we could start, Moi dissolved the parliament. And because all members of parliament, the 210 elected ones, and the 12 nominated ones, together making 222, all scampered to go and defend themselves, because now they found themselves, they had no seats. So selfishness set in, and the conference got scattered.
And I remember some police throwing some tear gas.
Exactly.
To disperse you.
To disperse us, because
people
were reluctant to disperse.
Mati Shikuku, yes.
Yes, but we took a solemn oath in 2022 that in 2002 that the best we could do to get back to the conference was to vote the then ruling party KANU out. and a number of then delegates, like Lina JB Kilimo was a district delegate, had not become a politician, went to contest, won. And when we reconvened,
she was a full minister.
She was a full minister. It was a triumph over of progressive forces over the forces of retardation.
Okay.
And so I find myself in the, of course, as a human rights activist, I naturally found myself in the technical working group on citizenship and the Bill of Rights. And then again, we find ourselves with Cecily Mbarire.
Now as a nominated member.
Now I'm a nominated member of parliament under SDP to co-chair the technical working group on citizenship.
Under NAC.
under NAC now.
Yes,
under
yes,
NAC
yes,
now.
yes, because SDP had become
Exactly,
NDK, and then
exactly. So Kibaki had won.
Yeah.
Though of course, I had gone through an accident and a bit, recovering and so on and so forth. And so matters Bill of Rights that you see in the Constitution, it is our committee, the technical working group on citizenship and Bill of Rights.
Oh, makofi kabisa
that
hapa. So chapter 4 traces its etiology from
exactly. So we are the ones that considered the proposals, introduced new ones, whatever provisions you see in the Constitution referring to youth, because I can see a lot of young people in this audience.
Yeah.
The draft Constitution that Yashpal Gai and his team tabled at Bomas had no reference to youth. And having gone there as a youth representative, I said, this is a generation in transition that must have and enjoy certain protections. And so we introduced, I tabled the motion that introduced the article on the rights of young people, because we are still vulnerable. We are in transition from high school to university, and at times as young people we are forced by economic circumstances to drop out of our education system to try to help family fend for itself, and so on and so forth, lack of school fees and many things. And so I take, I'm proud to be associated with not just the chapter, but the provisions they are in. And then, we co-chaired that again with Mbarire, dating back, you remember our history in the university and so on and so forth.
Quite interesting.
And that's why for me,
yes,
when I was tapped to join the panel, it became a natural, a natural obligation, a call to continue in the protection, because I view compensation of victims, compensation of victims of human rights violations, including from protests and riots, as a human rights issue. And I recognize that, both internationally and locally in our own constitution, there are international principles that underpin the exercise that we are involved in, the right to redress, the obligation of the state to acknowledge that in the protest of our democratic contestations, because we are a growing democracy, at times, governments become a little less responsive, as our 2010 constitution so demands. And at times citizens feel, based on the fact that they are the sovereign, and Professor Makau has amply put it that, the highest office in the land is the land of the citizens. So at times citizens invoke their residual power that they have donated under Article 1 of the Constitution to people that are elected, people that are appointed, but occasions so demand, and it has demanded so many times, that they also, exercise that power by trying to agitate for certain, decisions to be made, for appropriate policies to be put in place, and for their rights to be respected, and to continue exercising their right to freedom of expression, including through protests. And that's why I gladly and proudly accepted this assignment. And I'm proud to work under, Professor Makau Mutua as a member of the panel of experts on compensation of victims of human rights violations, including, from, protests and riots.
Very good, Suba. And I think that's a patriotic duty. But how do you respond to those who say, oh, nyinyi ni wasaliti, umetuacha kwa civil society, mbona mkaingia? We even saw Faith Odhiambo going through some, some moment there. What do you have to say that as a very distinguished human rights defender?
It is Mahatma Gandhi in his struggle for India's independence, after living in many years in South Africa, and experiencing the atrocities of apartheid, and deciding that he's going back to his indigenous country, India, to fight, to liberate Indians from British colonial occupation, who said that, it does not matter which book is being read, whether it is the Bhagavad Gita for the Hindus, whether it is the Quran for the Muslims, or whether it is the Bible for Christians. It is the same God that all these books are talking about. And so for me as a civil society actor, we fight, we organize, we mobilize for the benefit of citizens And that's why today we are called public benefit organizations.
Okay.
Governments are organically related to citizens who dutifully, every election year, wake up in the morning to queue and vote for the state. So citizens are at the center of all this. And so all of us, whether we are in civil society, whether we are in the private sector helping citizens to meet their material needs, whether we are in government, tasked with collecting taxes with a view to providing services, it is citizens that are at the center of all this. And so victim compensation is, compensation of victims of protests and violations is victim-centered, is victim-sensitive. And so for me, it is a continuation of the work that I've been doing for over 30 years, serving the very citizens on whose behalf I've been agitating. Yes.
Very good. I think that's really, really commendable. And of course, one also have to serve at different capacities. Now that Cecily Mbarire, your vice chair, is now even a governor, you can look at others. People have transitioned. In fact, by the way, when we joined Parliament in 2013, it was said that the people who had a civil society background, out of 349 members of the National Assembly, were 105. So civil society becomes a very good breeding ground for future leaders, really. I remember even we were in the civil society, when you remember, even our current deputy president, Kithure Kindiki, we were with him on human rights work I think I was his research assistant, by the way, in 2005, with a lady called Professor Marcia Hugh from York University in Canada, on human rights. So people have come from a very long, history to be where you are. But also, by the way, when and this is important for people to understand, when we were reviewing our own constitution at KU in 2002, I was made the chairman of the review, commission. People started calling me Yashpal guy. That became my name, and we got the first Kusa constitution with my contemporaries then, Prof. Gladys Wanga, the governor of Homa Bay. We were the rabble rousers that time, and we took cue from you, and also the SG of CKRC that time, PLO Lumumba, actually is the one who mentored us together with Zain Abubakar. We wish him quick recovery, and I think Dr. Makanga, I forget the name, but there are quite a number of people who came from the CKRC Commission, people like Salome Mwigai, the lady who was representing women with disabilities. So we really honor you. This show also is to honor all of the people who have actually done a lot to ensure that our human rights and fundamental freedoms are guaranteed in law, in our supreme law, and also to make sure that we are enjoying them. I think that's a really important thing to look at. But Prof, let me come back to you. From a scholarly point of view, what has been your jurisprudence with regard to this whole issue of human rights?
There are schools of thought in the legal academy which seek to elucidate and excavate various theories of law.
Yeah. Is it Roscoe Pound because of social engineering? Yeah.
So one of those feuds
Yes.
of law with theoretical predicates, I would say, is the precise relationship between the state and the citizen. That's a particular feud of legal theory and practice.
Okay.
In law schools, for those who are that area is constitutional law, which defines the powers of the state vis-a-vis the citizen. Say that a lot of my academic work, whether it is in books or in law reviews and other academic publications, has tended to concentrate on this very important subject. The practice of democracy is an experiment. But democracy itself is a miracle. If you get it right.
Okay.
It's a miracle. And that miracle, its basic germ, its basic genius is to craft a society in which every citizen,
Mhm.
no matter who they are,
Mhm.
whether they are, full-bodied, whether they are
Able differently.
able differently,
Mm.
the question of ableism,
Mm.
whether they are women,
Mhm.
whether they are men, whether they are, black,
Mhm.
whether they are Jews, whether they are Muslim, whatever, iteration in which they exist, whatever cosmology
Mhm.
in which they find themselves, that they have an opportunity as citizens
Mhm.
to realize their full potential.
Yeah.
Okay? That is the genius of democracy. Okay, now I say that, but I say it's an experiment.
Okay.
And it's an experiment because human proclivities
Mhm.
tend to recess to base instincts. I don't know whether you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Human proclivities
Mm.
tend to recess
Mhm.
to base instincts.
Yeah.
Meaning that
Mhm.
if I leave 100 shillings here,
Yes.
1,000 shillings, let's say, that's more attractive,
Yeah.
1,000 shillings.
Yeah.
And I go and hide somewhere in the corner,
Mm.
and you don't know whether I'm here.
Mm.
You will just take it and put it in your pocket.
Yes. Unasema umeweka mawe.
Yeah.
So that's very instinctive. It doesn't matter.
This instinct, there's a thief in every person. Okay?
Yeah.
So now the magic of democracy
Yes.
is to restrain the thief,
Mm.
is to restrain the criminal,
Mhm.
and to allow your noble self
Mhm.
to come out.
Okay.
Your virtues
Mhm.
to come out, not your vices.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Democracy practiced in the best way, makes you virtuous, not vicious.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
So now, but this is an experiment.
Mhm.
Okay? And you've seen, even in the most advanced democracies,
Mhm.
this ebb and flow.
Mhm.
So for example, other country in which I live in, called America, you can see the problems there. They are clear to all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people used to think America is a magic place.
Even the insurrections that we have seen.
Even the insurrection you have seen.
Yeah.
So it is when the citizen comes face to face with a state that is bereft of morality, even in a democracy, that you see a problem. And usually there are several rights in the Bill of Rights that are key to this. One of them is a right to a fair trial.
Yeah.
Okay, which underpins the rule of law.
Yeah.
The other one is a bundle of rights we call expressive rights. Okay, the right to assemble, the right to speak.
So these are in the civil and political.
Completely correct.
Yeah.
That is when the state feels challenged.
Yeah. Okay.
When the citizen flexes their muscle. In the history of our country, to come back to the subject at hand, but I wanted to give this theoretical background.
Yeah.
To come to our subject. In the history of our country, the biggest problems have occurred when the state and the citizen have not been on the same page with respect to expressive rights. This is when the most problems have taken place. Initially, our fight simply was to be able to choose our leaders, okay, to move away from the one-party state, to actually become a liberal democracy.
Yeah.
In a liberal democracy, people choose who governs them. Okay, it's not a monarchy. It is not a dictatorship. Every 5 years or 4 years or however long we want, we throw out the rascals, as they say.
Yeah.
Okay, and we elect new ones. They may misgovern us, but we elect new ones.
Yeah.
So we have a right to change them. So if you go back now 60 years, we have been in this space as the Republic of Kenya for 60 years. You will see periodic epileptic fits. You'll see epilepsy. In this country, when citizens want to exercise their rights, the state either clamps down, or sometimes the citizens, in trying to exercise that right, also go overboard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, this happened during Kenyatta 1. It happened during Moi. It happened during Kibaki. It happened during Kenyatta 2. And we've seen it happen in 2024 and 2025 with respect to President Ruto. What we are saying as a panel and as a country And I just want to say that the panel did not come out of the blue.
Mhm.
It was not a result of immaculate conception.
Mhm.
It was not. This panel came about because of the work of the late Honorable Raila Odinga and the president.
Mhm.
Because Mr. Odinga, was a lifelong rebel,
Mhm.
a troublemaker, but with a cause.
A rebel with a cause.
Yeah, a rebel with a cause.
Yeah.
And it's because of the issues that he championed.
And I think it's good to say that he used to use this platform here as a prime minister.
Yes.
So we are very privileged.
But even when he was a prime minister, he was also protesting against himself.
Actually, this building was bought for him, as a prime minister.
So
I
he was
privileged to work here as an advisor.
he was a born rebel.
Yeah.
But it was because of the work that he did in the political space, in which, and he led people.
So he wanted to carry the people with him.
And every time you lead people
Yeah.
and you awaken their consciousness,
Yes.
and then they assert their rights, sometimes bad things can happen. And I remember after Azimio lost, and actually before then, in 2013, he lost the election. In 2017, he lost. In 2022, he lost. And some of those losses you can put in quotes.
Yeah, especially the 07 one.
Yeah, you can put them in quotes.
Anyway, but let's not go
Okay,
there.
meaning they were not real losses, right?
Yeah.
So I think Raila Odinga felt a special responsibility that the project that he had started of trying to create one nation was slipping from his grasp. Yeah, partly because of age.
Yeah.
All of us, we knew that 2022 campaign was probably his last. And as it turned out, in fact, it was. What we do know is that until his death, he was fighting for these freedoms and he was fighting for democracy. So before his death, as a part of the discussions with the president on a broad-based government, responding to the spasms of the Gen Z protests, and those spasms were real and they were a threat to the state. Okay, I have a critique of those spasms myself. Not to say that Gen Zs were wrong. It is to say that, when people say that the president must go home, okay, let's be serious and talk straight to each other. As we say, talk turkey to each other. So if he goes home, what happens? And this is a question that Raila Odinga asked. Who do we get in his position to govern? Is it is it Wamunyoro? Is it the military? Is it Moses Wetangula? Because these are possibilities, because Wetangula was a speaker and so on. So who governs? But he was also informed by the fact that the president had gotten a mandate from the people. Yeah. Although the president defeated him, he had gotten a mandate from the people.
Yeah.
So we thought that unless there's a country, there's nothing for us to contest.
Okay.
There will not even be Gen Zs if there's no country, right? You guys will be in exile in some other funny, terrible place. And the countries that you might go to. So you don't want to be there. So you don't want to be there. So I just want to say that is how this idea of transitional justice came about.
Okay.
Generally, let me just say this, Isaac. Generally, transitional justice projects are carried out after very violent ruptures in society, which result in mass atrocity.
Okay.
In our case, that was not it. Of course, the violence was bad. Many people got killed. Others got injured, but it was not genocidal.
Okay.
And it was not a prolonged
period
social unrest.
Yeah.
Okay. But the two of them, the president and the Honorable Raila Odinga, decided to institute a transitional justice mechanism to repair the country, even though the rupture was not as extreme.
Magnitude.
Or that magnitude.
Yeah.
And so that's how
The panel came to
that's
play.
how the panel came to be.
Okay, I think we stop it there. We
Okay.
take a break and we come back to Sema na Spox. Makofi kabisa hapo. Welcome back to Sema na Spox. Bonga na Gava. And this is the second part of our edition on compensation and reparation. So, Prof, lots of history there. And I think by now people have understood from last week's show and now, how do you function? How many members are you?
So
and how do you function?
Let me take a few minutes to just say that, so as I said, this is a transitional justice exercise. What does that mean? That means that we aim to repair the bridge or the gulf between the state and society, and between individuals and their fellow compatriots in society. Not just state to state, state to citizen, but citizen to citizen, because our fractures are around both questions. Okay? Like for example, today, if I ask, Isaac, what's your name? You tell me his name is Isaac. And then as a Kenyan, I will ask him, Isaac who? And the reason why I'm asking, not me now, I don't ask those questions. The reason why I want to find out his ethnic identity, so that I can decide whether he's a friend or a foe. This is a problem, you know that. Okay? Now, this is a citizen to citizen problem. And of course, then there's the state and citizen trust issue. So this exercise is meant to repair both vectors of human interaction. So that's why we were formed. There are essentially three limbs to transitional justice. The compensation is one. Compensation is where you pay out a quantum amount of money to a person who has been injured, who has been killed through the agency of the state. Okay, and you try to give economic meaning and dignity to them through that compensation. Let us say, for example, we take a Gen Z who is 28, is a male, he was married, he had 2 kids, that person was killed. The wife may be left without much livelihood. So in our matrix, we are giving 3 million shillings for a fatality to try to at least give them some relief. You cannot pay for human life, but we think that is better than nothing. If you go to court, as you know very well, Isaac, court verdicts take a long time to be paid. So a lot of people have chosen to do that. The other limb of transitional justice is legislation to clarify, in this particular case, the predicates of Article 37. Article 37 is the article that deals with protest, petition, demonstration, assembly, and so on.
And picketing
and picketing. It is there, but it is like telling me that this glass, is full of liquid. But then you are not telling me what liquid it is. It could be hemlock. Okay? It could be poison. So we want Article 37 to be able to tell you what is in that glass. Like I said, where I live in New York, people demonstrate all the time.
Yeah.
And they go home safely at night. They don't get killed. They don't carry weapons. It is not just the state that is responsible for not understanding Article 37. It's also the demonstrators.
Yeah.
Looting and so on, raping. We have cases of rape that we are compensating. Citizen to citizen. Not even soldier, not even security force to citizen. So that's another one. That's now legislation. It is not there. We are drafting it today as we speak, so that when you go out, you know exactly when, where, how to demonstrate and to picket. It is just what is in other countries. You go out, you're not killed or injured. No one goes out there to get killed or get injured.
Yeah.
Okay? So we want to make sure that that gets into the noggins of Kenyans. The noggins of Kenyans.
So Prof.
That is one.
Yeah.
So the other one,
Yes.
along the same lines,
Yeah.
is now changing our policing culture. Okay, so that police forces are not quick to resort to either lethal violence or extreme force where it is not required. De-escalate, talk to crowds, don't show your weapon. All these things. Don't confront when there's no need for confrontation. It's extremely important. Okay, learn the methods of crowd control. Okay, so we are developing a manual for police training.
Okay.
So that our police understand exactly how this is done.
Hapo mmepiga makofi sana nyinyi majezi tunawaona.
It is very important. Finally,
Yes.
Finally, it's accountability. Accountability is where a person who commits a wrong is held accountable by the instruments of law, by the judiciary, and by other state agencies. We want to make sure that if a law enforcement officer, like a policeman, uses unlawful force and injures a citizen or commits essentially murder in the course of trying to control a crowd, okay, commits murder. Because don't forget that murder is not just a killing. It's an intentional taking of a human life unlawfully. Okay? Unlawfully. When that happens, that police officer ought to be prosecuted.
So now, Prof.
That's accountability. So that is important. When you hear people have been saying, Isaac, we've been saying, oh, well, once you compensate, you are trying to cover our eyes so that we don't see that people should be prosecuted. It is not true. Compensation is just one thing that we are doing. We are following it up with reforms of laws. We are following it up with retraining of police officers, and we are following it up with accountability.
So now, Prof, let's come now to the real issue, so that because of time.
Yes.
How many people? How do you apply? How many people have you been able to get? And what is a plan for compensation now?
I'm coming to you now in a minute. So, as you know, as of last week, we commenced compensation. We have received through IPOA, the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, and through the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, roughly about 1,100 claims.
1,100, eh?
Yeah, of victims. 1,100 claims of victims. Of those, about 900.
So these are the ones that have been verified now. 1,100.
No, not verified yet. 1,100 claims, 900 of which have reached a stage of verification that is very high. Of those 900, once we get them, we look at them carefully. We have created a foolproof system that is assisted by AI to be able to scan documents, to be able to compare names of claimants, because sometimes you get one person who has filed two different claims because they were injured in 2017 and then injured in 2022.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we compensate them for one claim, not for two claims.
Okay.
So out of those 900, I want to say that we, as a panel, have verified, processed, and authenticated 505 claims.
Okay.
That is more than 60% of the claims. And then once we verify and authenticate that, in fact, yes, you are injured or you lost your life in a qualifying event, because the event must be qualifying. It must be in connection with a protest or a riot. Okay? It is not every death by a police officer that will be compensated. It must be in the course of exercising Article 37. Okay? So, out of those 505, we have been able to receive and this is very important,
Mm.
the consent of all of those
Mhm.
to pay them.
Okay.
We have received their consent. We cannot pay you
Mm.
unless you consent to be paid. Okay, number one.
Mm.
Number two, those 505 have given us payment details,
Mm.
their bank accounts, to pay them.
Mm.
We've also been able to establish that there is no conflict in the family
Mm.
to be able to pay those people, because
Okay.
sometimes you may find that there's a conflict between the parents
Mm.
of the victim and the wife.
Okay.
Sometimes,
Mm.
so these are the ones for which there are no issues.
Okay.
And I want to say
Mm.
that as of last week,
Mm.
as of this week,
Mm.
we had paid out 346 claimants.
Okay. 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 Okay.
And let me just say,
Mm.
tell you, and these 346
Mm.
claimants are broken into various categories.
Mhm.
And let me tell you what the categories are,
Mhm.
and the quantums for each category,
Okay, okay.
meaning what we are paying
Yeah.
for each particular harm that took place. So we paid a total of $448 million shillings.
So far. Okay.
Okay, so far 448
Mm.
for the three.
That's almost 25% of the amount. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the 346
Mhm.
claimants. I want to say 115 of those
Mhm.
are fatalities.
Okay, so 3 million there.
3 million each.
Okay,
Okay.
that's quite a huge amount of money for such.
Okay.
Yeah.
115 fatalities.
Mm.
3 million shillings
Mm.
per claimant.
Mhm.
Severe injuries.
Mm.
We have 24 of those
Mhm.
severe injuries. That is where, for example, you lose a limb or you are paralyzed or
Mhm.
something dramatic like that has
Mhm.
unfortunately taken place.
Mhm.
We have 24 cases of those.
Mhm.
8 sexual offenses.
Okay.
And for sexual offenses, the quantums that are being paid,
Mhm.
can go up to even over $1 million.
Okay.
Okay, and then there are moderate injuries
Mhm.
for which there are 137 victims,
Mhm.
and here the payment for each moderate injury is $500,000 shillings.
Okay.
Of course, claimants, once we make a determination, can come and dispute
Mhm.
the quantum that has been assigned to their claim.
Okay.
So we can either take it up and raise the amount if there are aggravating circumstances.
Mhm.
So, for example, there was a person who had been injured on one leg, and when we investigated further, we found that his leg had been amputated.
Okay.
That's a very, very serious injury. So that's even more than severe.
Mm.
And then there are for minor injuries, we are awarding 50,000 shillings, and there are 60 of those.
And then economic loss?
And for economic loss, because it is not possible
Mm.
for us to, compensate for the full value of the economic loss suffered.
Mm.
If, for example, you had a big supermarket, or you perhaps had a car that was burned and so on, it is not possible for us as a country to compensate all of that. The money is not here.
Mm.
So what we are doing is we are giving a token amount for those claimants, ranging anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000.
Okay, thank you very much. So,
But
Prof,
let me
so that we come to the questions.
Yes.
So how do you get to reach you? What is the procedure?
So first of all, you can file a claim with the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, or you can file a claim with us, or you can file a claim with IPOA. To file a claim with us as a panel, because we are the last resort in terms of payment and compensation, we have an email account where people can write to us, and I would like Fred to read it out.
info@victimscompensation.go.ke. Please put it on the screen. info@victimscompensation.go.ke.
And then I would like him also to read the phone number that is a cell phone number that people can call. As he's reading the phone number,
Can we give the mic to Fred, please, quickly?
Read the phone number, please.
Let me repeat the email address: info@victimscompensation.go.ke. The phone number is 0141 441294.
Please repeat it.
0141 441294.
And I hope it's on the screen. And then finally, we have a physical place where citizens can go to file their claim on the ground floor of KICC.
Okay.
We have about 12 staff people there, including lawyers, including statistician, including doctors and so on. You can walk there and actually file a claim directly.
So thank you, Prof. I think because of time, because we have less, we're almost finishing an hour. Let's come now to the questions. Now, I think we'll ask all of them together because of time. Time is really not on our side. So first question, please take up the mic and, no, I think, sit down. It's okay. So it's because of, sorry for that. Yeah. What's your name, your county, and shoot your question.
My name is Ian Zangi, Embu County. And my question to you, Professor, would be 20 years from now, when you look back towards this period in time, what would you like said about how we treated the victims and pursued justice? Okay.
Question number 2.
Hello, my name is Daisy Anyim Sigari from Trans Nzoia County. My question is, what is the biggest obstacle preventing the victims from being compensated today?
20 years from now, what I would like to see is that we laid a foundation for changing and transforming the way police and our citizens interact in the course of the execution or the practice of Article 37. I would like to look back and say, we did this, and since we did that, there either have been very few violent confrontations or they don't exist. What is preventing people from getting compensated? I think a lot of it is just logistical challenges. Sometimes people do not know where to reach us. Sometimes they do not have phones because we're also dealing, in many cases, with Kenyans who have many challenges. So what we have tried to do is we have gone on television, we have gone on, like now, we've gone on, I was on Ramogi radio several days ago, Monday, in which I spoke to...
So you have gone to several media stations?
I've gone to several media. I was on JK, I was with Jeff on Sunday Live, So we want to overcome that deficit of information about how to get to us.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's come to question number 3 quickly.
My name is Webster Sami from Makueni County, and I school at KIMS. So my question is...
What is KIMS?
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
Okay.
So my question is, who should bear the greatest responsibility for compensation?
Yeah, so let's get the answer that, then we come to online. Yes, Prof.
Yeah, I just want to say that, when bad things happen in a society, blame is not the way to go. I think you want to join hands towards a project of national healing. We know that wrongs were committed, okay? And we know that whatever compensation you are going to get as a victim will come from taxpayers. So it's taxpayer money, okay? So taxpayers are paying for the misdeeds of other Kenyans. But in trying to repair a harm like this one, there really is no perfect solution. Someone has to bear responsibility, okay? And that's why we are saying that in addition to compensation, we are doing other things to make sure that we can say never again, that this will not happen again. So that's what what we're trying to do. So to really put a fine point on it to you, we are a young society. It is very difficult to practice democracy. Okay. So the burden is on all of us to learn how to practice democracy, whether we are protesters, whether we are the state, whether we are just average citizens, so that we don't do this again, so that we don't lose people, so that people are not injured. Okay? Democracy is a journey. It is not a destination. And constantly when you practice it, it becomes better and better and better. And that is why you don't see some of these things that are happening today here happening elsewhere.
Thank you very much. We come to you, Miss Rehab. What do we have online?
Hello, Professor. Kenyans would like you to respond to 2 questions. In the event someone has been injured or has died during a violent protest when they were on the wrong side of the law, does this person get compensated despite being on the wrong side? And if yes, don't you think this is encouraging bad behavior because I'll be compensated after all? And do you also compensate the police officers who receive beatings from the violent protesters? This is Pastor Jack Mwita on TikTok.
Yeah, those are very good questions. Those are very good questions.
There's one more.
Yeah, but let me answer that first.
No, because of time, Prof.
Because of time. Okay.
Yeah, yes. Go ahead.
The last.
Yeah.
How does the government respond to criticism from human rights group that the current compensation framework is insufficient compared to the actual scale of harm suffered? And what is the government doing to reform its approach to make it more accessible, inclusive, and genuinely victim-centered?
That's a very thorough, educated question. So, Prof, you answer the 2, and also you give us your closing remarks.
Yeah. So quickly, it is just to say that when you are in a protest or in a riot, it is one transaction, and things can happen very quickly. And quite often we know about crowd psychology. So sometimes people will be caught up in all of that. For example, I think one of the questions that one of the examples there is, if a person was looting and they were shot, should they be compensated? According to us, yes, they'll be compensated. Because first of all, a life should not be taken to defend property. It should not. That is a rule that is there in our law. You cannot kill a person to protect property, but a person can be lost to protect another person, but not for property. So that is there, and that should be understood. The other thing, and so we are not encouraging criminality when we do that, because we are saying it's part of the same transaction of the protest. It would be splitting hairs to say that this person was there, this person was not there. It's a very difficult job if we did that. And the overall purpose is healing the country. The other question was about police officers. Of course, yeah. If police officers who are injured in the line of duty, they are eligible for compensation. Have I answered every question?
Yeah, you have us actually. So your closing remarks, Prof.
Yeah. So this is just to say that, first of all, I appreciate all of you. Like I said initially, you all look very sort of suave and and brilliant, and I encourage you to believe in yourselves first and foremost, and I encourage you to participate in the project of citizenship. And the project of citizenship says that I care about my country because I live in it, and I care about my country because I want my children and my children's children to have a good country. Do not fall into the trap of cynicism. Okay? Do not hate the person next door simply because they are different from you. We know what happened in Rwanda in 1994, when people believed that those who did not have the same names as them or did not look like them were enemies. Do not listen to those who want to divide us along ethnic lines. Do not believe that this country belongs to some and not to others. You know, I'm not calling you the leaders of tomorrow. You are the leaders of today, young people. You are the leaders of today. Believe that and act like it. You are leaders. Don't look at people like Isaac, or look at myself, or look at Churchill, look at Jerusalem, Mwathimu Michael, or Fred Okanga and say, well, these are the leaders. No. You are also leaders. This country belongs to you. Long after we are gone, you will be there. And so, you know, nurture the country that is called Kenya. Take care of it. Okay? I may sound Pollyannish. But I don't mind sounding Pollyannish. You know what Pollyanna is? Believing that things can be great. I believe that things can be great. And that is why I wake up every morning and put my best foot forward. And I want you to do the same.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Prof, come, stand up with your mic. Kuja karibu. Asante sana. Hii mic yako, asante sana.
Asante sana.
Yes. Pale.
Yes.
Zile kamera. Tuseme, mimi
ni
Mkenya mzalendo.
Ni Mkenya mzalendo.
Je, wewe?
Je, wewe ni Mkenya mzalendo?
Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima.
Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima.
That is it. Our second part of this show. Asante sana, Prof.
Asante sana. Thank you so much.
Until we meet again. This is Sema Spox.
Thank you so much.
Asante sana.
Asante sana. Okay.